Hi, I'm Mark Madison, and I'd like to welcome you to another in our series of Conservationists in Action. And this morning we have a special treat. We have a conservationist who's doing amazing field work very far from Shepherdstown, West Virginia, where we are. This morning we're very fortunate to have Salvadora Morales with us, who is a project coordinator for Flora and Fauna International at the Ometepe Island Biosphere Reserve. So welcome, Salvadora, this morning. It's a pleasure to have you here, and you probably have come the farthest of any of our visitors to the studio. So you've set a record. So welcome.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm from Nicaragua. I work in Ometepe Island. It's a volcanic islands formed by two volcanoes. I am ecologist. I study ecology, but from the university, I be in love with birds, and all my backgrounds are a lot of field work with birds, bird monitoring. I love to have birds in my hand and see molting and all the process. But I have, well, if I want to conserve birds, I have to work with protected areas and in conservations management of the areas. And I have been doing a lot of management work with park rangers and some of environmental education activity, including kids.
Yes.
I have two kids that it's my inspirations to work with kids. And I have to work too with municipality issues too. I do more than bird things. I do a little more than.
We call it a jack of all trades here. You might do education and ecology. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Where did you work before Ometepe?
Before Ometepe, I worked with a Granada city municipality. I was in charge of environmental area in the city. And it was it was like a university for me, because when I beginning, I just know about more of birds than other things. And it was very great to work with the municipality there. If you are in one organization, institution like that, you have a great opportunity to introduce the environmental things with all with the city, with the people living in your community now. And it was great opportunity to work there.
And then after that, you came to Ometepe?
And after that, we have in Ometepe, Fauna and Flora, it was beginning a project where they need a coordinator who know about research with birds, because we have fund for migratory bird eye. And they have a co-management with the municipality, and they want a person who have that background too. And I was there, and it was a really good experience.
Well, let's talk a little about Ometepe and show some pictures, and probably the first one will be a map to orient people.
Yeah.
So this is a map of your home country, Nicaragua, and you live in Managua.
I live in Managua.
And where do we see Ometepe?
Ometepe, we have a two big lake, freshwater lake, and the Nicaragua lake, called it Volcán too. It's the biggest one, and in the middle of the biggest one, there is a little land there. That is our island, and it's for me, Ometepe is like a laboratory, where, if you can see, we have the Caribbean. We are a really tiny country in comparison with the North America. No. But in Nicaragua, we can divide Nicaragua in three. We have the central part, where is the highland, the most with the mountains. It's just 2,000 meters above sea level.
Okay.
We are not so high.
Not so high.
And then we have all the Caribbean slope and the Pacific slope. In Ometepe, it's just in Nicaragua, and we have we can find a lot of forests like the Caribbean, forests like the highland of Nicaragua, and the Pacific slope where it's ubicated.
So it has all three habitats within it.
Have more than 8 habitats.
Wow.
It's like a laboratory where there is represented a lot of habitats in just 26,000 hectares.
Great. Well, let's look at a close-up of it. Hang on a sec here. What are we looking at here?
That is the island. It's formed by 2 volcanoes.
Volcanoes, yes.
Volcanoes, yeah. Thanks. And one, Volcán Concepción, is a nature reserve. It's an active volcano. Sometimes we have a really beautiful activities. Like I enjoy every time when the volcano it's active. And in the middle we have a wildlife refuge. It's almost wetlands and a really very good dry forest for conservations, for birds especially. And we have a national park. It's called Volcán Maderas, and all the three protected areas plus the buffer zones. It's part of the Biosphere Reserve. Just we last year have designated by Unesco like a Biosphere Reserve.
Which is a very important designation, but I'm not sure everybody viewing this would know what it is. How do you get designated a UNESCO Biosphere Preserve?
Well, the history of conservation of Ometepe is like a really interesting. It's just confused. Nicaragua have more than 72 protected areas, but it just was like a decision of one person say, okay, we want to protect the areas in Nicaragua. That was 25 years ago, and say, okay, all the volcanoes between 850 to up will be protected areas, and Ometepe have 2 volcanoes. Ometepe have 2 protected areas, and then we have 30,000 people living in the island. They use wood. They need water. And they was cutting the forest, and it was really in threat. And the people say, okay, we need to protect all the island now. And it was a new law, and it was promoted by the local people. And they say, okay, all the island is protected now. Nobody can do anything. Nobody can cut trees. But they don't solve the problem doing that. If you have 30,000 people and
yeah, living there.
plus we receive 40,000 tourists per year, you can work with that. And the people beginning to be in conflict with conservations. Okay, we are a natural reserve, but you can cut that tree. And it was just 2 years before the law. There is a new law in Nicaragua. For first time in our history, we have an environmental law where they designate what category of protected area exists in Nicaragua. And this new law, it's not working anymore. But we have the conflict, and then we beginning to work in the island. The island, it was a paper protected area.
Yeah, I saw you write that. What do you mean a paper
park? Paper, just, well, we are protected area because we have a decree or a law that say it's a protected area. But there is no management, there is no trail, there is no interpretations area, nothing. You don't have park rangers too. It's just like a big community where you have a forest, but you can go and cut a tree, and it just it's paper protected area. And then we saw all the problem they have in his management, and Fauna and Flora write a project, and we have a funds to begin the conservation work in Ometepe. We hire we work with partnerships, and we work with environmental minister who have it's like a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, I think, for Nicaragua. And they have only they can have park rangers. Yeah? We pay the park ranger to the minister to have the first in the history of the island, the first park rangers. We built the park ranger stations to have a place where the local people know there is the office, and they can go and ask for anything that they need now. And we're beginning to work in his building capacities and trainings, and it was a really complementary activities where we was doing research with monitoring birds, migratory especially. It was our focus. And with the park rangers, we was training park rangers in environmental law and biological issues and everything. And we have some lines to work with environmental educations, and that it was our beginning in Ometepe. But when we hired the park rangers and Marina, it's environmental minister in Nicaragua, have his first office in the island, beginning all the problem. It was like, if you have a problem in your house, you need wood, okay, and you have a tree there, and you are going to the park ranger station and ask for a permit. They don't know what to do because they have a law where say all the island is protected, and you have a decree that say it's just the volcano. And if you are my friends, well, I can give you a permit, are okay. And I say, okay, you have a permit, but if not, you it's the law, not. And it was really, really hard to. And we have 2 municipalities there. If all the island is protected, the municipality have autonomy. But if all the island is protected, the municipality don't have a really they don't know what is his role in his territory, and it was really confusing. And part of the project that we don't contemplate when we beginning the work, and we was trying to see, okay, what we can do with this island. We can't be like this, and we do a study to see what will be the best thing that we can do to better management of the island. And the result was, well, let's do a biosphere reserve where we can have our protected areas defined with a buffer zone, and we can have a no protected area where the people live, where the people can do economic activity, where there is the hotels. And we beginning with the process. We help to the government to how to do a biosphere reserve, and I was in charge of all the activity coordinating, putting all the. It was more than 4 years of research activity where we know now the really importance, well, part of the importance in terms of biological that have the island, and we can say why we have to be a biosphere reserve. And it's take us 1 year to put all the paper in place to send to Unesco. And last year in June, they give us the approved. Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations! Is today's your birthday for the Biosphere Preserve?
No, it was June 2.
Oh, June 2.
June 2,
I know it was
yeah.
June 10th. All right, well,
Yeah. It was this month.
Yeah, it's very unique and very important.
And that declaration, it was really important. The government take more conscientious about the importance of the biosphere reserve, and they in in June they did last year a big like a party, environmental party, like a feria, and now I am going to a party again. We are celebrating our anniversary of the
Awesome.
Biosphere Reserve.
That is great.
Yeah.
You've given us a bunch of photos of the Biosphere Preserve, and you've given us a hint that it's really beautiful and important and has a lot of wonderful birds and other species there. I thought maybe we could show some of the pictures and you could tell us a little what we're looking at, but you have to tell us if you took any of these photos yourself. Because I saw some credits earlier for, and I'm just going to go to the beginning and tell us what this is we're looking at.
Oh, we are seeing a yellow-naped parrot. It's not my photo. It's from somebody of Fauna and Flora International. Yellow-naped parrot, it's a really, it's just in the Pacific slope of Nicaragua and Central America too. And it's really, really appreciating home, like a pet. You can go to a home or hotels and they say, buenos dias, hola. They can talk around, they can learn more than 1,000 words.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I know some of them that they can see all the alphabet, A, B, C, D. Yeah, it's really, I love it. And in Ometepe, probably we have the most important community or population of parrots in Nicaragua in the Pacific slope. You can count in one point 250 in 1 hour going to sleep in a place now. And that has been part of our research activity that now we know, and now we sometimes doing like a tours to, okay, let's go and experiment how parrots going to sleep, and you can stay and sit in a chair in the middle of the forest and see a lot of parrots. And it's like our pets in the island, but free. We want to let free.
Seeing the bird, obviously the Fish and Wildlife Service, we work a lot with birds also. Are you doing any partnerships with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service?
Yeah, definitely. We are working right now and in the past with Wildlife Without Borders. Definitely we have a lot of wildlife without borders. More than 50% of our migratory in the island our birds are migratory.
Migratory.
Yeah, and we are trying to make connection with the north and south, and I think it is really interesting in that we have sometimes we have 2 monitoring stations. The bird monitoring station that it's working between November to March when the migratory are there, and that is part of our project with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the program of Wildlife Without Borders and Migratory Bird Act.
That's great.
Yeah, we have a strong connection, I think, with U.S. Fish.
Well, you're here, and then later this afternoon you're going to be speaking at our headquarters in Arlington, which is very exciting, and you're kind enough to wear one of our Wildlife Without Borders shirts, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But people often forget migratory birds go all the way to Central America, South America, and it's important to have partners in places like Nicaragua. Especially for neotropical species and so on. That's very exciting. Well, let's look at some more of your pretty pictures here. What do we? Now, this is not a bird.
No. Yeah, I can't talk all day about birds, but we have
we'll
more
come back
than
to birds. But what are we looking at here?
We are looking at howler monkey. We have a big population of howler in Ometepe. In just Volcán Maderas, in 1 hour you can see more than 10 troops, a biggest troop. Some have 20 members in the troops. And it's really, really interesting. Last year we have a albino monkey.
I read about that. Tell us about the albino monkey.
Well, it was really excited for us to have just imagine 20 monkeys really black and only one. It was like snow. It was just when we have some visitors and they saw the monkey, they stayed like 3 hours just looking what they are doing. And it was really, we just discovered the monkey, and we was planning to begin in our research to see how it's the activity in the troops, how they take care of the monkey. But we lost them. We don't know what happened. Yeah, probably the monkeys are really the leader of the troop. It's sometimes jealous of kids. Mm-hmm. And the mother of this albino monkey was really protective. All time she want to be with him. Yeah. And if you are going to look the baby monkey, just she went to her. Yeah, it was really interesting. But it's part of the history, I think, of the island. We have a lot of pictures, a lot of people is asking about the albino, where it is, what happened with.
Well, and that brings up an interesting point. You showed us a beautiful bird and the howler monkeys. Is ecotourism a big part of Ometepe's economy now?
Absolutely. It's really, Ometepe have received 40,000 people per year. And it's really natural. If you are going to Ometepe, you don't expect to see hotels or big hotels. It's just very rural, very quiet, very silent. If you want to take rest, go to Ometepe. If you want to see wildlife, go to Ometepe. And now it's really important part of the economy of the local people. I love to see that the people was farmers. Now it's hoteliers. They transform his farm in a hostel or in a hotel. Yeah. And almost 90% of the hotel that you can find in Ometepe, it's local people doing a hotel. Right. And we have part of the project, it was work with tourist guide to improve, to building his capacity and give a better tourist tour. Yeah. And including more activities like birding walks. Yeah. And we have special monkey tours. But we are trying to create okay, you want to be a researcher for 1 hour. And we put in the hotel, they put in the hotel, like, okay, be a researcher and help with our research activity. And sometimes we take tourists to the bird banding stations. Sure. Or we have 2 hours looking for monkeys and try to see, if you are a tourist, we give you a goal that you have to go and look to the troop and see where they are eating, what they are doing. And sometimes with monkey, it's really interesting. Sometimes it's boring because they just sleep and sleep and sleep, and you can stay 2 hours and they don't do anything. But sometimes you can see activities like, for example, the mom leave a baby, and the leader, the man of the troop, is going to attack her, and it's like, wow, what is happening here now? And it's really interesting, and we are trying to do some kind of that.
It sounds wonderful. I mean, I bet the tourists really enjoy feeling like they're a part of the research work out there.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, and we have making some connection, for example, with Audubon, North Carolina. They every year take a group with they go burden to Nicaragua, and one of the part it will be Ometepe. And when they go, they raise funds for make some conservation activity in Nicaragua. This year they give us $4,000 to make a workshop for all the important bird areas in Nicaragua that just happened last week.
That's great.
And we want to build more connection like that, with north and south, and sometimes give a reason to, okay, you are going to tourist, you want to spend your winter time in the tropics, go and
help with our research.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's look at a few more of these pictures because they're pretty. These are the volcanoes?
Yeah, that is. I think when you are going to Ometepe, your first tour, it's when you take the ferry. Absolutely, you have a very, very beautiful views. Very, you don't have, the ferry have 3 different cabins. You can go inside and just watch TV and or go outside and really take a good pictures and enjoy.
They're beautiful, conical volcanoes.
And sometimes
I jumped ahead.
The lake, it's like that, very quiet, but it's not every time. Sometimes like a sea with a more wave.
Choppy.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
Oh, we have a problem with birds in Nicaragua. I just know the scientific name. I have problem with the English name.
Well, give us the scientific name because we have a lot of ornithologists.
But this is a migratory species, and we can know it's a snowy egret.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have egrets.
This is a migratory, and we have a lot of water migratory in Ometepe, egrets.
So you get a lot of waterfowl.
Waterfowl. We have waterfowl. Yeah.
Birds that live in the water.
Waterfowl. Okay. Yeah, birds. Yes, we have some, but we have more in forests, I think.
In forest.
Yeah, because we have the wetland. All the lake, it's a wetlands.
It's a wetland.
They have a lot place to live, and probably biggest than the wetland inside Ometepe.
Hey, you must be a major flyway stop with the big lake there.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the other pictures here.
Oh, that was, we received a visit from Unesco, June to last year. And it was, we have a meeting with all the important people working in conservation in Ometepe because we have this visit.
Right.
And we don't expect it we was planning, okay, next week, UNESCO will be saying if we are or not Biosphere Reserve. What we will be doing. If we are Biosphere Reserve, we are pretty sure that we will be. But what we will be doing, and we was planning, we received this visit and we was talking, and somebody received an email and say, hey, UNESCO say today, the new. And it was really great because we was all together when we was looking the web page of UNESCO and looking for Ometepe. Where is Ometepe? And it was really great, all together, the mayors, the protected area of Nicaragua was there, UNESCO was there, and it was a really historical point for us.
You were a part of history.
Yeah, I am there. I am the only woman there.
Now, what's this cloudy picture?
Yeah, I was like a kid. I worked for 4 years, now 5 in Ometepe. And every time when I leave Ometepe, I receive a message that, okay, the volcano was with ash, the volcano, it was active, and I never saw one. But that was really cool. I was in the ferry, and just the volcano makes some action. I was like a kid. Oh yeah! And that is the park ranger station that we built with the project, and we have a really I can count with my arm, with my fingers how many infrastructure that we have in our 72 protected areas. In Nicaragua, we don't have trails in the protected areas. And this was a really good, now we have, it's working like a biological stations. Mm-hmm. We have right now 2 researchers from Holanda, from a university of Holland. It's working with endemic salamander in the island. Wow. And the park ranger station have 2 rooms, and we can work, the park rangers can share with researchers or that they are when they are going, and it was part of the project.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, you have to know who is.
I do not know who this is. We don't have these in West Virginia, I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, probably. It's migratory. It's painted bunting. It's in the list of USFWS. It's another. They have double problems in his population. A lot in a lot of countries they are selling like a pet to have in house. This is a male. The female, it's not so beautiful like man. The male.
The male is the colorful.
Yeah, and the female is just green. But sometimes we have in some pet shops too, and we have a monitoring stations that is part of the Institute for Bird Population in California program, mm-hmm. Where we have 20 species that we know it's declining his populations. And one of that species is this. Bunting. Painted bunting. Yeah. And it's really important because it's really colorful, and we really love to have activity with kids because the kids love it. And we have problem in Nicaragua, we have problem with slingshots and kids. In April, it's really popular, slingshots. They are, and it's when the migratory bird is preparing to come back, and they are really active. And we are trying to do some activity, taking kids to our monitoring stations. I think there is really impacting when you have a bird in your hands and you can see.
You don't want to shoot it.
No, yeah, I hope so. They don't. Yeah.
You mentioned you have 2 kids and so on. Do you do a lot of environmental education at the park at Ometepe with young people?
Yes, we are beginning to doing that kind of activity, and every time when we have the opportunity, we take local people to join us in the monitoring station and see what we are doing. Sometimes for some of them we are crazy. Oh, they are capturing birds and they are looking for birds and with binoculars. But they like probably change part of his mind. And I think we have another picture with kids.
Let's see.
That is a endemic orchids.
Sure.
We just discovered in the island when we was. It was a endemic orchid for another volcano near of Ometepe, but now we have a new report in the island that there is not only in Mombacho.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You have a backup population.
Yeah. Okay. That is part. This is a tourist guide that have been working with us, There is part of the top of the volcano. You have, well, I take 8 hours to go up and come back. No, it's all day walking. It's really hard, and the project helped to improve some of in the more harder part.
Yeah.
We put something to help the tourists that they don't going down.
Yeah.
And they have
Yes.
something with
Yeah.
to take.
Ropes or something to pull them up. Well, that makes sense. Is that the ferry? I'm looking at it.
That is one of the ferry. We have around 4 ferries going to all day to the island, and the other it's Volcán Maderas.
Okay.
Yeah, more birds. I love it. That
I love the birds.
the Power Rangers. It was the first Power Rangers in the history. Migratory birds.
Aha.
Ah, there is.
There's the kids.
There is the kids. Yeah, and we take these kids to they have just in front of us, the school. And we thought it was important. They are part of the environment.
Sure.
And I came from a rural area, and I don't remember when I was kid, if I saw a birds. Probably they was all time around me.
Right.
But I don't see before when I went to the university and I learned about birds, and I was in love with birds. And I think it's important to take kids to the nature and open his eyes that to this world, that world. No, and we are doing. My inspiration are my kids. All the time when I am working in the file, I take my kids to, and we are going to Ometepe or wherever we are going. I take her. And now, well, this week I learned a lot of techniques to how to make more interesting the activity with kids.
Great.
Yeah, that's great.
We're running out of time. This has been superb. Thank you so much. But if people wanted to learn more about Flora and Fauna International or how to visit Ometepe, is there a website or a place where they could go and get more information?
Yes, there is a website, but it's not online right now.
Will it
be
be
next
soon?
week. Yeah,
All right.
next week. Yes, it's Biosphere in Spanish.
Okay.
Ometepe.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Biosphereometepe.com.
Yeah. We will try if you put in Google Ometepe, we will be one of the first page of Ometepe. But there is a lot of another web page with more like a tourist information about where to go, what to do in the island. And the web page, it's more about all the activity that we are doing. And then we hope to have a part where we can they make more connections and more if you want to go, for example, to Ometepe, be part of one of the activity that we are doing there.
Wonderful. Well, you've made it seem very appealing, and I really appreciate you coming very early in the morning Nicaragua time.
Yeah.
And doing this for us and visiting NCTC for the first time. We hope you'll be back. And thank you very much. And we'd like to thank the people who took the time to tune in and learn a little more about the fascinating conservation work that's going on at Unesco Biosphere Reserves in Nicaragua and the wonderful work that Salvadora is doing with Flora and Fauna International. So thank you very much.
Thank you.